swimming the forbidden zone. They were captured by the shrewdness of apes. But what the hell is the shrewdness of apes? And why is Taylor wearing a man frock and singing City looks like Fraggle Rock? Dennis Chambers did the info, Mr. Spot. This is just the fact we try not to mock on. The minute of the apes. 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 Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the podcast where we break down every damn dirty minute of the Planet of the Apes movies. I'm your host, Sean, and joining me always is my co-host, Todd, and our new joining us now experience. I don't know how to use words. I mean, it's only the first minute of the week. I mean, I've only had a couple of sips of beer. We have our new co-host who's joining us from last week, Richard. Richard's going to be a permanent host with us. Yay.
Yeah.
We went out and had dinner right after we finished the week, and Sean and I both were like, do you think he'd join us? He's so good. We want him to be a part.
Hey, Richard, if you want to do the podcast with us, check yes or no.
Do you guys want to be friends?
Oh, my God, those little things that you flipped around in your fingers. Yep. All right.
So before we get started on this minute, we just want to give a shout out to Pete and Alex, the Star Wars Minute guys, for inviting us to the family. Really appreciate it, guys. You can find more movies like that at moviesbyminute.com. All right, we're going to start minute 46 with Taylor in the middle of a knockdown, drag-out fight, and it ends with a gorilla guard laughing as he walks off. And as of minute 46, we got 2 living humans, 2 dead humans, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humanoids.
So we have a fight.
Taylor went straight Kirk. And
Yes.
I wonder if they actually gave them Star Trek videos or movies to watch before they went on, because this was in the 70s that they left. So Star Trek has already happened in this universe.
That's true.
And so with the whole punch to the kidney and then forearm smash to the back. Again, at some point, we might have to have a fight in here, a little mini Planet of the Apes fight club, and see if this forearm smash actually works.
I was actually kind of impressed by the savage human who, I guess, instinctively knows to reach up, grab bars, pull back, kick his feet up, and just like hurl his legs at Taylor. And I'm like, that's not an easy stunt. I'm sorry. That's requires some massive, savage upper body strength.
Well, are they learning that kind of thing in the wild? Are they jumping around trees? And that's kind of how they attack each other, is grab a limb and do that. But I thought I had the same thing, that this guy's jumping up.
They're more apish themselves.
And it really kind of felt like the old wrestling days when I used to watch it with my grandmother, and the guys would grab the ropes and pounce somebody's head, that kind of thing.
The George Animal Steel going on?
Yeah, it's very primitive. No, it's actually very it's a choreographed scene.
Yes,
clearly,
very much so.
These movements are, when I get into a fight, which is, I guess, not that often, but I'm typically like up in somebody wrestling on the floor. There's no way that I have this time to, like, I'm going to reach up here, I'm going to punch over here, I'm going to do this. Like it's like in MMA when they get to when they get tired, and all of a sudden they're just kind of on top of each other,
holding each other, heads.
Exactly. They look like
they're kind of rested a little bit.
They look like they love each other.
You said choreographed, and I've never hidden my love of movie musicals. It does have the Sharks and the Jets thing going. I mean, they are jumping around. They might as well have switchblades in their hands going at each other.
I'm probably the only one that watched all of King of the Hill, but I think out of the 3 of us, but I think I was expecting a little instance of pocket sand where somebody get some sand and throw it in the other one's face and go cha-cha-cha, and then starts punching them a little more.
Well, I mean, this can't be fun to roll around on the sand like that.
Oh, no.
I mean, I would have walked away kind of chafed, particularly with my tiny little Taylor blanket covering over everything.
Poncho.
You might have had chafed nipples since he's already,
It's been a couple days at least that he's been wearing that. Yeah.
So the one savage kind of reaches up above, grabs and kicks him, and then there's a little bit of a tussle, and then Taylor kind of repeats the same move. He's down on the ground. He does the same, like 2 feet, like
right at him.
The guy at him. It was very cartoon Scooby-Doo. Well, I guess Scooby didn't fight like that, but just like.
It's more like running away.
But that crazy villainy cartoon.
Well, then you've got all the cartoon punches with the score, too, because, I mean, the moment anything hits, from bum, bim, bum, bum, everyone with a kick or hit. And that one edit, too, where Taylor takes it and sort of kicks, it's about 3/4 of a beat late. It just then he falls, and it's just it was so painful.
Well, they've got that giant branch that's kind of in the center
Because
their
all
habitat,
caged animals have to have something
they
they
have to
can
have
crawl
something
on.
to climb on and
Yes.
sleep on top of, like a tiger or something.
Well, I mean, this is very much. This appears to be just a sanctuary or experimental laboratory
Just to get them
area
from
outside,
inside to get them outside.
but it's
yeah.
almost designed like a zoo would.
An
you know,
aquarium
in that
or a
sense that it has
terrarium,
that
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And they use it as a prop, and I wonder if they had intentionally put that there to use, or if it was just ornament. But he like kicks him and it rolls over that giant stump. The savage guy.
Yeah, it definitely takes his legs out, and he just goes flying down.
And meanwhile, we get another shot of the bad news beard guys in the background, just a horrible fake.
You know, it's one of those things where I know you've pointed it out, but I really did notice watching these minutes just how
bad the
bad
beards
the wigs and the beards
Yeah.
are. In particular, the beards are just
makes me wonder
horrendous.
how
Yeah.
quick the casting was for something like this. That they couldn't get people that had beards already, or B, not wait the month and a half to grow a beard. I don't know.
You know, I'm trying to look. I actually saw something, and I'm going to go ahead and offer a note that I was going to say for the next minute. I'm going to say it now because you said that. What I found out is a lot of those people, either gorillas or people with the beards, according to the Amazon notes, because we all know I watch it via Amazon. What was his name? Arthur P. Jacobs, that's it. The producer actually enlisted writers that he wanted to write about the film to be extras in the film so that they would get
They would
excited
report on
about
it,
being in it, and they would write about the film.
Like,
So it could
like,
be.
when you say writer, you mean like newspaper writer,
Yeah.
like Variety or something like that?
That's
Yeah.
what they put it down as, is that
Okay.
it was, he put writers in there. Now, I then went and looked for the information on this. I couldn't really find anything other than Amazon's notes.
Yeah.
I would think that they're going to put them in the crappy pullover gorilla masks. But at the
background
same
mask,
time, I looked in that scene and I didn't see any crappy pullover masks. They definitely
No,
wouldn't put
because
those writers in prosthetics.
Because they only had what? They had our main cast, our three main chimps. We had our guard, and then we had a couple of like 2 or 3 other gorilla guards.
Right.
And well, actually, is that this minute? Hang on, I already forgot.
There, because this minute does have a bunch of shots where you see the
They get into
background.
the fight, and they actually do burn them and all that
at
stuff.
least
So, yeah.
they found relatively fit reviewers.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
I don't know. I don't know how comfortable I feel about running around in a bikini. You know,
Well,
good review of a movie.
speaking of bikini, Amazon gives me another note that our space hoochie, Nova,
Unnamed
No, wait,
savage
we
woman.
don't know her
unnamed
name
savage. That's right, unnamed
Unnamed
savage.
savage
our
woman.
blood donor.
So she was actually pregnant at the time that this scene was shot, and if you watch,
Wow.
and I did look, her little space bikini that had shown a little bit of midriff is now pulled down because she had begun to show. The last few weeks of production, they would do the typical sticker behind something so
Yeah,
nothing would
behind it,
show.
yeah. Just
And
cover
in
up the
this,
belly.
they had to pick up some things, and so they pulled it down. And if you look,
So they pulled-
there's a quick moving shot, and you can see that there's an extra little flap.
So what you're, I guess what we're coming away from this is that this is actually, they came back to the scene at some point to fill in some extra things, or was this filmed at the end?
I think it was filmed at the end. I mean, if you look
Wow.
at production of anything, it's we can be here on this date. This is easy. We can get to that, and that's our last shots we need in case of rain or something
cover
like that.
shots, yeah.
So apparently they shot it at the end.
Wow.
But,
I'll have to
um,
start
But then
paying
again,
attention
if
to-
they shot at the end, like, why do they have these crappy beards?
True, they should.
Come on, they could have been
should've let
having
them grow.
actual beards. If
Well,
did
they
it at
spent
the
all their money again on the nice gorilla masks, and so by the end they'd really run out. They just went to Party City and got some crappy masks.
There you go. I like the fact that
1970 Party City.
hey, let's party with some poppers. I like the fact that fire is the best way that they have to break up a fight. Even the fact that even though they have guns and they could use that to break everybody up with.
Right.
They do some really, really good shots as they kind of track Zira alongside of the cage and the
I thought
monkeys
that too.
alongside of the cage while
Yeah.
the fight is happening to add a little kind of extra motion into it rather than let us stick on that really bad choreography
Right.
and make it feel make it feel very tense.
And those are handheld shots too, so you get to see Zira and then Cornelius,
Speaking of
who
which, did
in
you
my
notice-
notes all of a sudden I didn't even realize did this. I was trying to figure out who is Corny. Corny is apparently Cornelius for me in my notes. And
Why
didn't
I
know it.
happen to notice that Cornelius and Zira actually seem to be enjoying the fight instead of telling Bright Eyes to knock it off or something.
They're getting very excited by
Uh-huh.
it. Zira has this weird, she looks at him at times with these love lost eyes, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Go, go!"
Fight, kiss.
Right.
So to break up the fight, basically we have one guard come in with a torch, and then we have the two back behind, like cracking a whip. That seems to serve no purpose other than to keep it
the
back.
whip technology again.
Yeah, I mean the torch, I guess, is to drive them apart.
Yeah,
right. And the whip is to keep them from trying to escape the cage.
Which the torch does seem to really work because all the savages they clear away.
Flee, yeah.
Do you think they know fire?
Well, I wonder if they haven't mastered fire, so fire is somewhat magical.
Yeah, this is not the first
them.
time that's been poked at their faces. Yeah. I was noticing that Taylor, he just is not getting good luck with it. Comes to his neck. He got shot into his neck. Now he gets the nooses. He gets all that garbage right in the neck over and over again.
Yeah, he gets two more guards come in right behind the guy with the torch and just throw them over his neck. I guess they, it's one of those things when you're watching movies and TVs and you see kind of a fight break out, and they always go after the protagonist.
Yes.
It's clearly always the one in the wrong, right? The other savage, I don't know what happens to him. Taylor's the one's like, it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I just worried about his ketchup-stained neck. Immediately when you put those leather nooses around it again.
Sherman Williams painted neck.
Yes, that's right. It was paintball. I forgot about that. So we get him removed from the cage.
And they leave the door wide open while they're doing it.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like kind of shoving the other ones back with a flame, but the gate is just completely wide open. They're not even trying to.
Well, and I've got a note about in the coming minute about some weirdness with that.
Well, you can't talk to that. I don't know about the coming minute.
I won't say anything about it. All but so in this, and correct me if I'm wrong, in this minute, when we remove Taylor, this is the scene when Zaius pulls Cornelius aside and starts talking to
about.
So is he intentionally separating Cornelius and Zira? Because Zira looks back and she is like, well, why are you taking him away? And it seems very intentional that Zaius is separating to me.
Well,
because you just had that fight, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but you've just had that fight and he's suddenly not interested in the fight. He wants to pull them apart.
You have the one guard kind of leading with the noose, and the other guard kind of back behind. Yeah. And Zira's now concerned, right? She actually says, "Stop! You've heard him. Take him inside." So she's kind of excusing herself from the scene anyway to kind of move on to her prized prisoner, her prized possession at this particular point. But we did have the warning from Cornelius already too.
About taking it easy.
Not Cornelius, Zaius to Cornelius about bury his career and that kind of stuff. And Cornelius was going to have to talk to him to get his next expedition approved. And so this just kind of gives us a moment where that happens. And it is Cornelius, or sorry, Zaius, that walks around and comes to address Cornelius.
I just found it's an odd segue of a conversation after I've watched cage fighting, which I don't do very often. After I've watched it, the last thing I'm going to do is go, "Hey, Richard, I want to talk to you about your expedition. Could you bring your papers to me?" Very calmly.
He's so nonplussed about this whole.
I know
this gigantic fight. And he's like,
Well, maybe this is something that he's seen before. Humans fighting in front of him is no big deal. I mean, they're wild animals that maybe get into a knockdown every now and then.
So we've got the man can be domesticated line.
Right. Zaius says, "I'd like to discuss the expedition more in detail." And Cornelius says, "Of course," because he's excited.
Yeah.
Cornelius thinks he's going to get this approved.
True.
Right. And Zaius is the one to approve it for him. And then, to discuss in more detail, then Cornelius just kind of exits. Right. And then we just have that moment of truth between
the guard and Dr.
Zaius.
Yeah. When they're really telling what's going on.
The man on high kind of speaking to the lowly military guy. Is that another instance of Zaius just putting his dogmatic garbage out there and kind of instigating allowing this that men can be domesticated? He at least we've discussed has an idea of something going on.
Yeah, so we're still trying to find out how the society is built, what the rules are behind it, what their laws are, what their religion is, what their science is. And so we're kind of getting a feeling that he is hiding something or trying to divert knowledge to different places or make sure that Cornelius doesn't go down path A, he goes down path B instead.
He's a great politician in that way. He's constantly going to the base level of the person he's talking to and sort of pushing it just